This chart is one of many very important charts. The M2 money supply just crossed the 100-day exponential moving average. The last two times this happened, and you can just see, this is what it looks like. The last two bull runs, basically, when this move was happening. A lot of talk about the M2 money supply. People having to be a little bit more patient for things like this, for things like quantitative tightening coming to an end, for things like the US dollar finally starting to fall. This is to say, the timing of this bull cycle a little bit different this time and is testing a lot of people's patience, including mine. But I want to dig into the Bitcoin charts and I want to look at altcoins. This is the altcoin charts. It's excluding Bitcoin. And I just want to talk about the bottoming out formation that we are within right now. I think we're getting a lot more clarity. There's been a lot of consolidation. There's been a lot of volatility. More importantly, there's been a lot of speculation. So let's dive into the charts, try and get some clarity on how all of these things are coming together. Please subscribe and hit the like on the way in. I want to start with Bitcoin real briefly on the daily chart. So Bitcoin on the daily, the biggest thing I wanted to point out to you is what's happening on the RSI, the stock RSI, or I'm sorry, just the regular RSI, the slower moving momentum oscillator, oversold. Now we have bounced out of oversold in a way that we saw back here at that last swing low. And the thing I want to just say, and I want to just sprinkle in some caution here, is because you can see 3 times we hit oversold in that last consolidation, right? So all of this consolidation, 8 months consolidation, 3 times hit oversold. So we have 1, 2, 3. And each time you can see, even after it happened, there was a lot of volatility, right? So for instance, this first time, there was actually more swing lows in play. And even this last time we hit oversold, there was more volatility in play, more fear in play. So we just hit our first oversold. We bounced out of it. And so the question is, what's price and the momentum of Bitcoin going to do next? And that's the biggest thing I'm watching. Obviously, short-term support would be the 200-day moving average, 83,000. That could fall within minutes. And so I want to be prepared for that. But if Bitcoin starts falling more to the downside, we could start seeing kind of a similar setup like we had back here, right? Even back here, we had some bullish divergence after Bitcoin price fell lower than the previous swing low. Could that happen right now? Swing low, right, on the chart, and then we fall lower. There's a lower low, but we're getting some type of higher low on the RSI. We're putting in this bottoming out formation, and nobody knows what it will look like. But if you just revisit previous charts, you see that oftentimes it kind of trades very similarly. And the biggest thing to that is it takes time. It takes patience. And it really tests the nerve of everybody in the markets, because you just go back, if you remember this move, falling all the way down. That was the bottom. But imagine if we can go back and look, people were freaking out, I'm sure, when Bitcoin was hitting 50,000, and it wasn't much later, Bitcoin's at 100,000. So I'm trying to anticipate that move. With this being said, people are becoming impatient. And I wanted to bring up a couple things to your attention before we look at altcoin charts, because I think it's important. Before we get crazy looking at the altcoin charts and the M2 money supply and how it plays into this bull cycle, I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor. This company, everybody, has been one of the most stand-up, reliable companies in all of crypto. Go hit the link below and set up a crypto IRA. There are tax advantages like within your IRA. And this is why I'm really hitting this home this cycle, because it has been a delayed bull market for sure, especially if you're an altcoin holder. But if we get an altcoin bull run, for me, a plan is to obviously take profits, have a profit-taking plan, but also move altcoins to Bitcoin, I think is a great approach for myself. That's not financial advice. A crypto IRA with iTrustCapital allows you to, if we're getting those gains, make those moves within the IRA and do it tax-free. And you can just see $12 billion in transactions, 200,000 plus accounts in crypto. You can go over here, 7,500 plus reviews, kind of just talking about their experience with this IRA platform, iTrustCapital, and just such a stand-up, secure way to just really plan. That's why I think most of you are here. It's why I'm here in terms of being in crypto. It's a fun journey. There's a lot of different things that we enjoy in the crypto space, but we're here investing, right? For our families and for just our children. We're here investing, trying to make the right decisions. Products like this help in that macro plan. So if you're zoomed out on the Bitcoin charts, if you're zoomed out on altcoin charts, having an IRA in that plan, I think is so helpful. So hit the link below and sign up with iTrustCapital. It takes minutes, and shout out to them for sponsoring the video. It's this. The M2 money supply just crossed the 100-day exponential moving average. And the last two times this happened, you can just see the bull run starting. So bottom of the screen, you can see that green line crossing above the white line in the last two bull runs. And we're starting to get that move right now. And there's a lot of people that are talking about this move. Now, this is happening at the same time we have the dollar starting to fall. And this is a weekly chart on the dollar. And it is starting to look very similar to Trump's cycle 2 cycles ago, Trump's term 2 cycles ago. So the thing that's, I think, testing a lot of people's patience is those really important macroeconomic factors that have really helped drive bull markets in previous cycles. Those things are just taking a little bit longer to happen. And it's kind of postponing, I think, the altcoin bull run, for instance. And people are getting very frustrated. But with the hints of these things happening and the dollar looking like it's getting ready to fall, quantitative tightening getting ready to end, the M2 money supply getting ready to take off, I just think now is not the time to give up on Bitcoin or altcoins, even if there's more volatility to the downside. It's just kind of like, just hunker down, build, prepare, just zoom out on the macro and just get ready. I think it is. It is what it is. If we go to the altcoin chart, though, one thing I wanted to look at is this. And this plays into what we were just talking about, because I think it's compelling. It's a compelling case, at least for me, to sit here and be like, you know what? Even if there's more downside, I'm just going to be here for it. I'm waiting because I think something big is coming. And here's what we're looking at. You can see on the total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin, it actually did just hit oversold. And you can see it's just fallen below the 200-day moving average. And last time this happened, similar to Bitcoin, a little bit different looking, but similar. Last time this happened, you can see it was the bottom of the chart. And this is another thing that I'm waiting to see. Is this going to be some type of another swing low on this chart, similar to back here? And notice there wasn't even bullish divergence, and it was the bottom. This was just lower low on RSI, and then lower low on price charts. And so are we going to have something similar? More capitulation, but actually this time maybe bullish divergence. That's something I'm watching on the altcoin charts. But one thing I want to point out to you is if you zoom out on this chart, it's not that many times that this chart has hit oversold, right? So here is the bottom hitting oversold. That was like the bottom right before this blast off in August, September 2023. And then previous to that, we have really the bear market bottom. So that's how oversold we are, kind of the bear market bottoming territories. And you might sit here and might be like, well, look at this one. That's oversold. And that was the beginning of the bear market. Is that what's happening right now? And the very simple answer, and this is just my opinion, the reason why we are not right here is because of what is happening from a macroeconomic standpoint, from a monetary cycle standpoint. And I think that's why we have to really talk about these things. I didn't get a PhD or something in macroeconomics or anything. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a pro in that. But this very simple data I will absorb, and I will absolutely apply it to the cycles, to the charts, so that I feel like I can make kind of clear decisions in terms of what I think is going on right now. And that's what I think is going on right now. We're not here in terms of the same exact monetary cycle. We're in a whole different environment right now. And I want to throw this out there. Back here with Celsius and FTX and all this mess that was happening, we have just this global race right now for Bitcoin and crypto just now kicking off. We have institutions on board, and we really do have what I think is the bull market getting ready to happen. Wanted to throw this data out there, a little bit of a different perspective in terms of momentum and where I think we are. Be prepared for more downside, everybody. It's just a good idea. Even if the altcoin charts kind of keep falling, right? And we're testing levels of, previous levels of this swing low back here. It's 100% in play. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe, smash that like. I will see you all in the next video. God bless.